couple more, and I know you want to ask one more.
Bring in that letter and I'll bring it tomorrow.
So I do one more question, and it's lunchtime. Okay.
Let's end on a high note. Joe, I am so grateful for your vote and your support on the homage. I think you were less than 10 votes away from getting it passed. What are you doing to get that passed?
Well, what's brilliant, thank you for asking.
And this is regards to the security of information. It has to do with seniors, has to do with everything that happens in your life. And Joe was on the side of keeping that information secure.
Right. So
Lost very briefly.
So in the wake of 9/11, you know, the government set up these, you know, systems under the Patriot Act, which again was a law that was passed with almost no thought or consideration. I was not there at that time, but in any case, it sort of started this machine in motion that, you know, really is kind of breathtaking in terms of the scope and size of the systems that the government has put into place to look at email traffic that's going on. Again, if there's foreigners that, you know, they have targeted as terrorist threats or whatever, you know, I think very few people would sort of question, you know, the need or the right of our country to sort of protect itself. But in terms of American citizens, where we're protected by the Constitution, that's a different ballgame in terms of, you know, what rights the government has to probe people's emails or their internet activity without a warrant or any of the protections that we all enjoy as Americans that you fought for, sir, back in the room. And again, as somebody who's had the experience of defending people from government prosecution, I'm somebody who does believe that, you know, it's almost human nature that if you give people power, they're gonna use it and maybe stretch it in ways that, you know, ends up with bad results. And so, you know, the revelations that came out in the last month or two, which showed that, in fact, the tracking system was, in fact, happening to Americans. And you know, the reassurances that were given by the government initially were that, no, we're not looking at individuals, we're looking at what's called metadata. You know, again, to me, I didn't buy it, and that's why the amendment to defund that program that was offered by Justin Amash from Michigan, who's a pretty staunch Republican, but, you know, I agreed with him, and that, you know, as these revelations come out, you know, it's really, this is not what was told to the American people in terms of how this was all supposed to operate. So it was a close vote. The government, the administration was pounding members of Congress. They were calling these emergency meetings, you know, and telling everybody, trust us, you know, and that literally was what they were saying, pretty much, was just trust us. But the vote came up short. Well, what's happened is that now we're home, and there's been worse revelations that have come out just even in the past few days, that in fact, now the government is admitting that they had thousands of American citizens whose emails were read individually, which is something that they denied they were actually doing. And then there was another revelation that just even came out in the last 24 hours. I can tell you that there are some members from the Connecticut delegation who voted the other way who are feeling very, very uncomfortable about the fact that they voted the way that they did. And Justin has said that he is going to renew this effort when we go back this fall, and frankly, I think the momentum is going to be on our side in terms of trying to push this thing. And you know, the president said, you know, we need to have a dialogue and a discussion, and you know, that's fine, okay, but you know, that should not be a stalling tactic. That should not be a stalling tactic in terms of trying to you know, really, again, reestablish people's constitutional rights, which I believe in, as someone who has, again, represented individuals from the government. So, on that, thank you for your, and thank everybody for being here. Full court press.